So I'm about to start my first Glowforge Aura project, and I am super excited about it. I'm going to make a leather badge holder to replace this plastic one because I have the bad habit of like tugging on this throughout the day, and then it breaks, and then I have to go ask the security people for another one, and then they hate me, and I don't like that. So I think it's gonna take a little bit of trial and error. It's not gonna go right the first time. So let's jump right in. I'm actually going to start by trying to do a test cut on some cardboard. So you do all of the connection up on this like app.glowforge.com. So I'm going to create a new design, upload the thing I want. And it showed up right here. Roughly the size I was going for. It looks a little small. I have also heard that it doesn't do a great job of aligning it. Like it looks like it's gonna be like half an inch off of the cardboard, and I've heard it doesn't really do a good job of placing it perfectly where it says it's going to be placed. I don't actually know if this is going to go well. I was gonna say I could Google, but this has only been out a few days. Like the answers probably don't exist yet. So, power to speed 100, one pass. Okay. Unknown material, cardboard, 80-pound cardstock, sure. Let's go with that. I hit print. We are preparing my print. Okay, okay. Auto-focusing on your material. It does take some time to prepare. Like we've probably been preparing for a minute or two now. Okay, here we go. Okay, so it seems like the majority of the time suck here is the little dots that it takes for what I'm hoping was it was going to be holes for the stitching. But it seems that drawing each of those little squares takes it a little while. Also, it does not appear to be catching on fire, which I appreciate and was a little worried about because I really had no idea what I was going for with the cardboard. And I don't think it cut all the way through. If you can see, it's cut, I don't know, halfway. So I'm gonna flip it around. I'm gonna up the power a little bit more. There are two ways to change the power of your laser, the power and the speed. So at the moment, I've bumped the power all the way up to 10, and I'm still at like the fastest speed. So I can take the speed down if I wanna get more power still. Okay, so I have a little cutout, but I want it to be bigger. So I made the outline a little bit bigger. I also went and made these holes spaced further apart. They're ultimately supposed to be stitching holes, but they're too close together. So far, most of my problems have been because I don't really understand Illustrator, not because I don't understand the Glowforge, but I'm gonna start it and I'm gonna have it go a little bit slower than I had it go around before. I'm still surprised that they don't have cardboard here. Cardboard. Am I spelling cardboard wrong? Like, am I dumb? Is it two words? Cardboard? No. So we're still just gonna go with cardstock. Okay. Enter settings. Cut. Manual. All the way. Let's slow it down for a speed of 80. Also, I'll mention here that looking at the laser while it's cutting doesn't hurt my eyes, as far as I'm aware. But it does kind of give the feeling of like looking in the sun. Like when you look away, you kind of have spots in your eyes a little bit, like when you look at a light too much. Even though it's through the yellow thing and it's supposed to be safe, like there is an eye feeling going on. Here we go. Comes right apart. Yeah, that is just about the size I want. Okay, this is kind of cool because I'm in the free trial of Premium. And what's nice about this is I can stick multiple shapes on here, and I can put each of these shapes at different settings and see where it actually cuts through. This will also be a nice test of how accurate the camera is and the alignment, because this is a really small piece of leather. And so if it's not actually on the leather, we'll find out. So one on top, the square is on top. I'm gonna need all the power. I'm gonna need all the slow. We'll do a speed of 4 or 5. We'll ignore these other ones until we need them. So we'll start with the square. We're not gonna move anything. We're just gonna do the square. Speed of 5, 1 pass, see what it does. Oh, I gotta select my material. Leather. Medium? I'd say this is medium. Okay, go. Drum roll. Okay, not super well aligned. Because on the screen, the square was almost off the piece. Okay, it cut. It cut and it burnt it a lot. So, well, that's a pleasant surprise. I really thought that we were gonna have to do lots of little passes, like a number of passes on this. I'm gonna back it up a little bit. Okay, so that time I forgot to remove the square. So it started laser cutting a square off where there was nothing, and it didn't really seem to be making any impact on the metal. So good news, if you laser cut nothing, you're not gonna destroy your machine. Yay, better. Not quite as burnt, but still like very much went through. So I'm still gonna back it up even more. Yeah, this is it, 65 for this. Now, if you're also doing leather of some sort, note that leather has different thicknesses, and I have no idea what thickness this is. This came from like a scrap box. It is thin to medium. How confident am I feeling? I think I'm feeling confident enough that like if it's not perfect the first time, I have enough extra. Print. Oh, well, that was bad. So it's over here, yeah, the arms. Yep. So does that mean the pass-through slot, you have to go under that? Maybe I'll just slip it out the pass-through slot. Fancy. You know, people online were saying that this is so much slower than the big Glowforge, which, of course, yes, it is. But just watching it right now, this is still, I think, faster than I was anticipating it would be. So cool. It looks so cool. Am I done? Am I done? Can I open it? Come on. Yeah! Okay. It looks so good. Ooh, little stuck there. There we go. There it is. We had something bad happen. Still going, but I didn't slip it under the pass-through slot, and so now it's moving around. And so now I have just an utter mess. Lucky me. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Someday, I didn't do this, obviously, but you could engrave something over here if you're feeling brave and like you wanted a more unique leather badge holder thing. I decided for the first project to keep it simple. For sure. So I grabbed this punch thing out of this, like, I don't know, cheapo leather working kit that I bought on Amazon. And this is what I'm going to use to punch through the holes that are there and hopefully through the plastic. I'm also using this like tack hammer, Harbor Freight, for the win. This seems like a really big hole that it's making. I don't know anything about leather. Maybe it's the right sized hole, I don't know. And I need to be a little bit more careful because it's really easy to not go in the hole that's there. Now for the stitching. I don't actually know anything about stitching. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and I will link to, well, okay, I watched one. There was one really good one. I will link to it in the description below so that you can also learn how to stitch. or learn how to stitch leather. I don't know if it's different from normal stitching. What do I know nothing. I have this selection of colors that came in the leather working kit thing, and I'm gonna use black. How 5-year-oldish do we think this looks? Like, do we think I'd be better off switching it out with like a less obvious fabric? Should I go and use the red thread? I'm gonna take this out. This is too pink. So it's done, but it doesn't actually look that hot. Mostly because these stitches, yeah, I wasn't very good at stitching when I first started. But then I got better, and the second set of stitches looks great. So a little bit of practice before you start, and it'll probably help a lot. But that's okay, because I'm thinking I am going to do the same project on the X tool so that I can compare the two, and I'm going to make a comparison video, which will be up here. And I also think I might make a lanyard to go along with that, which I will put right up here. So, thanks for hanging out with me. Hit subscribe, and I will see you next time.